Right. Just wait for Mr. Circles to walk in circles before he gets down. Get down! Right. Jaffa cakes and nibbles. How glorious. Okay. Are you ready? Then let's continue. So, I'm talking about how do you help people like me? Well, it really is. The main focus of this is what you are able to give very, 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 very effectively. We'll call it listening therapy. Because I think, let's look at what's really going on. They're your friend. You don't like that they're going through what they're going through. And in a world that minimises everything, your go-to, you've been trained, we've all been trained, your go-to is going to be, it's not really happening. You're making more of it than it is. And trust me, that is a lot of the reasons why they're there in the first place. So reminding them of that the first time you say anything is actually really counterproductive. And when they reject that reframe, you take it personally, darling, because you've got an ego. That's what leads to the, you better not think that I don't care. And really be in that situation and really just analyse the tone of voice that you get from people when they have made an assumption about what you think. It better fucking not be the assumption that they think it fucking is. And oh my God, there's a threatening tone of voice to it. Because you have an ego too, and ego's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, not a bad thing. Stop saying having an ego is a bad thing. It's a normal thing. You have an ego the same way as you have a nose. I think all of my friends have got noses. Fairly certain all of the people I know are suitably nasally endowed. Nasally endowed. It's a normal thing. And everyone's ego wants to be praised, wants to get everything right. It's where your little boy or girl is too, is pretty much part of the ego. Your little boy or girl is in everything that you do. He or she is a part of all of your thoughts. When you're schizotypal, you end up coming up with lots of different names and characters for all these people, and then you talk to a psychologist who agrees that you're sort of, the word borderline personality disorder is a confusing one. Now it's emotionally unstable, but I'm borderline multi-personality disorder. He just said, if it works, do it. If it's a positive thing, do it. But that's the button that's getting pushed. Your insecurities. So that's what you end up bringing to the table. That's why you're not a counsellor. Counsellors have to learn this shit. They really do have to learn this shit. It's very difficult to have a conversation about someone's deep-seated psychological issues in the pub, in front of your mates, at a party. We all do it. We all do it. And it's wrong. We're not therapizing them. We're antagonizing them. What you do is listen. Show that you're listening. They call it active listening. There are simple reflections where you just sort of repeat the last thing that they said. Basically. But you're just checking in with them. And do check in now and then. It's about having clarity about what they're saying, but it shows them, remember, we all communicate under the surface. It shows them that you are thinking through what they're saying and trying to establish a picture of it. You're demonstrating to them the reality of what they are saying, and that in and of itself is the best fucking thing you can do, bar none. Fucking believe me. Take the responsibility away from yourself of having to reply. I'm not joking with you. I'm not talking shit. I am speaking from the heart, from a lot of experience, and with a reasonable amount of assurity on this. Listening's hard. Do you know why listening's hard? Because when you're a counsellor, you are kind of expected to have replies. A lot of those times when you're a skillful counsellor, those replies are questions which then elicit more information from you. Those are the questions you need to ask. The questions that I get asked, and bear in mind, I'm schizotypal. If you don't know what schizotypal means, don't try and walk through anything with me. I am a very volatile fucking client. to try and do this stuff with. I'm not easy. No schizotypal person will be, or a schizoid. They're very confused, they're very lost, and they're very fucking angry. What's the first thing you thought then? So, I am too. Guys, ditch that fucking attitude. Bin it. Bin it. You sound like children. Yeah, yeah. That's how it's all coming across. You know, yeah, that is your little child having a sulcity. It's having a sulcity because it's trying to do the right thing by your friend. But you can by doing nothing. That is such a fundamental. It really fucking is. I mean, here's that bit of gold I told you about. The lady, absolutely lovely lady. I've known her quite a few years. And she was the one that like the first time I told my story right through, it took about 9 hours to my mate. I did about 2.5 with her. And she was asking questions. And to clarify, hang on, did you say that he said that? But this was happening, and you can see that she's remembered bits of the story, and she's going, but those are her questions. Those are the questions you need to ask. Exploratory questions, open-ended questions. If you're not sure what any of that means, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing it. Don't. It's like someone who's going, sees a beautifully tiled floor, go, bet I could fucking do that. A lot of us do, don't we? We are playing with shit we don't know fuck all about, a lot of us. You know, even just correcting me can set me the fuck off. Because, you're wrong again, Michael. Just the fact that I didn't figure it out is sinister, creepy. It makes my voice wobble. And you go, what the fuck about? What the fuck about? Ah, because then I feel just like a total fucking weirdo. Da, 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 da. If someone says they're schizotypal, don't try and give them therapy. Particularly not in a club. So many people have tried to give me therapy in a club. The fuck are people thinking? What the fuck is anyone thinking? All of you sit down and have a real fucking think about counselling, talk therapy, let's call it, and the very specific environment that that's in. The indication from the client, yes, I want this therapy. I'm here to receive this therapy. Without that in place, a counsellor will not work with you. A counsellor will check in with you as well if you have a course of, say, 10 weeks and they'll say, you know, are you happy to continue? Is this helping? They will. They will, because they're respecting your right to not understand or not find it helpful. What we do, because we're all a bunch of little children, is go, seriously, this sort of therapy is so easy to give. Just that's, you know, someone feeling heard and understood is so therapeutic. You don't need to give them advice. Because a lot of the time, the advice that you're giving is just so fucking Janet and bloody John. Janet and John was a children's book in the 50s, I think it was. It was Peter and Jane when I was a kid. Here is Peter. Here is Jane. Jane is knotting Peter off. Peter's put 2 fingers up Jane's bottom hole. Jane slapped him in the face and said, oi, ask me first. It's like, you know, have you tried just not worrying about it? People have said, have you tried not just worrying about it? Step back. Step back. Look at the bigger picture. They're talking to a man in his 40s who's been having trouble like this whole pretty much life. And you suggest the most basic and simple thing ever. Why do people think that people haven't considered the simple option? That's what keeps happening. That is what keeps happening. Take the pressure off yourself to fix them. You don't need to fix them. You will help fix them by being present. Oh, look at that beautiful little boy. Hey, Kizzy. That's what you can do for them. So beautifully, so simply. You'll make them feel really, really good. Seriously. I know because I'm speaking from fucking experience, mate. My story's a weird one. It is open to analysis according to the general fucking rigid, immovable, unshakable fucking almost under the surface fucking rules of society. no, hang on a minute, that can't be right, blah, blah, blah. You've challenged my paradigm about what that person should be and should do. Therefore, I'm having trouble accepting it because you are now questioning my paradigms. You get angry, don't you? You get uncertain. Congratulations, welcome to every single minute of my life. Yeah, that time when you get all fucking murr because your paradigms are being challenged. It happens to me all the fucking time, dude. It happens to me all the fucking time. You don't get it. Someone said you know anyone schizotypal. I've got one friend who I've not talked to him directly about it. I don't know what his diagnosis, but I think the word schiz is in there somewhere. Other than that, I don't think I know anyone with a diagnosis of schizotypal. It is a lot more rare, but that doesn't mean there's not fucking loads of us. And if you're dealing with someone schizotypal, you need to be extremely fucking careful what you say. You seriously do, because you can make them a lot fucking worse. You can make them walk off crying and screaming and think, what the fucking point? Don't do it. Stop it. Stop messing with things that you don't quite understand. Counselling is not a simple thing that you do for your mates. It is a very complex process. It's very difficult to walk through. It is a very individual process. Skilled counsellors are actually quite thin on the ground as well. I've met a lot of them, and I've met some fucking shit ones. I really fucking have. But they at least have the... You know, you can tell when someone's been trained from the book and they're still doing the book in their practice. They're quite inhuman when they do it. But in a sense, that's their way of managing. That's what you have to learn to do. As a physio, you have to learn to do that. You know, when you work in intensive care. How's such and such? Dead. What about him? Dead. Oh, he'll be dead later. That's what anaesthetists say. God, in the morning anyway. They're usually right. Anaesthetists are the most amazing doctors ever. I love talking to an anaesthetist about anything. I just think, fuck me, you're so clever. They really are the ultimate doctor. An anaesthetist. You need to get used to people dying. You need to, you know, I've worked with palliative people, you know, in the home, and you're looking for those simple little things to brighten their day. And use that to help them do the therapy that you're there to give. That sort of stuff. But it's fucking tricky, mate. Stop expecting too much of yourselves. If you want to help your friend, be there. That I can't stress enough. Don't say that you want to be there and then not be there. Don't do that to people. If you're not there, you're not there. Don't even talk about it. Just don't even apologise. Then, you know, that looks to me as like, you've done my thinking for me. You now think that I'm pissed off with you because I tried to chat to you and you weren't available, and you've done my thinking for me. Now you've got to really fucking insist that, you know, you wanted to be there, and how dare you. It's toxic, mate. It makes people kick off. It's like, so many times I've been crying and thinking, what the fuck was that? They came up to me to try and fucking help me, and now they're having a fucking go at me and making me feel awful for something that I didn't fucking make up. Something that did fucking happen to me, and I'm really doing my best to struggle through it. And it's been declared null and void in quite a nasty and laughable way. People need to fucking learn. I'm getting a little bit angry again. I don't want to be angry. I want to point out some of the things that so many people are doing that they could do differently. And what we were, let's go for 1333 again, because we're on 1325. So we could just hopefully just lean in like this, and we're 30, 31, 32.